let us all do we can to build a better future. 100 days. I was recently on the Alinas Garcia show with an awesome panel. Lee Camp, Steph Zermino, Nick Brana, so many others. I mean, it was a great show, great panelists. But we were talking about Biden's 100 days. And the thing is, has anything fundamentally changed? I mean, everyone's saying that everything's good with Biden, that he's following through with his promises. But there seems to be a growing anger and resentment towards Joe Biden because, again, he made a lot of promises and failed to follow through. I think we all saw this clip recently. Let's go ahead and pull that clip up real quick because, again, it's showing that, you know, what does he even know what he's even talking about anymore?
He's trying.
Let's play it.
I want to thank you, too, the people of Georgia. Give me a microphone. Folks, Georgia was 100 days ago today when I was inaugurated on the steps of the United States Capitol to be your president. I was looking forward to coming back and seeing these guys.
People are saying they can't hear him.
Okay. FaZe, they're not hearing it. Here, let's
Most of all,
We're gonna reset it.
I want to thank you, the people of Georgia.
Don't worry, I don't think Biden can hear it either, so I think it's everyone's getting the authentic experience.
We'll give you a microphone. All right. Folks, Georgia was 100 days ago today when I was inaugurated on the steps of the United States Capitol to be your president. And I was looking forward to coming back and seeing these guys.
He's like, oh.
I agree with you. I'm working on it, man. Give me another 5 days.
I think we'd stop it there. That's basically the point of that.
Folks.
Show.
Yeah, so look, here's a sad fact about Joe.
You should give the context for what they're.
Yeah, so again, it was 100 days where the Georgia election was happening, where Biden made his promises for $2,000 for that stimulus check, which we never got. I mean, it was promised during the Georgia election, but what we got was $1,400. There's one promise that was broken. And another thing, too, is that the kids are still in detention centers. The kids are still in cages. Now, people are going to say, well, they're in better facilities now, but that's besides the point. And even then, that was 3 days ago when Biden made that statement. So give them 5 days. So what's going to happen? Are those kids going to finally be out of those cages, out of those facilities? Are you going to finally reunite them with their parents? Are you going to make sure they have amnesty? Are you going to treat them like refugees? Are you going to treat them like human beings? I mean, you have a choice. Treat them like animals or treat them like people.
Has it only been 3 days since he said that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. And I remember because I shared it with you on Saturday.
Right. You shared it the day he said it.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yep. That's right. And so now, I mean, what happens in 5 days? I mean, will there be a miracle? Or
He said he was going to do something.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. Like, everyone's been saying that under this presidency, things have returned back to normal. But there's a growing resentment, a growing anger that's happening in this country. So here I have this article from RT America. Again, don't tell Rachel Maddow. She might go crazy because it's from RT. So, Dan, calm down. Just calm down, Dan.
This is a great running joke. That's always the same running joke.
Yep. So here's the thing. Joe Biden is a popular guy, if polls are to be believed. Although these surveys paint a rosy image of his presidency, they can't disguise the reality that the U.S. is divided and Biden's promise of unity may be wearing thin. Again, it was never there in the first place. The first 100 days of Joe Biden's presidency have passed, and a glut of polls polls show the Democrat majority enjoying the majority of support. Furthermore, Biden's address to Congress last week, in which he pushed liberal police reform, gun control, and immigration bills, was rated positively by 85% of viewers. However, these polls don't tell the whole story. Biden's majority support was first laid out in an ABC Washington Post, Democracy Dies in Darkness, poll last Sunday. But that poll oversampled Democrats by 9 points, relying on them and on left-leaning independents to reach Biden's apparent 52% approval rate. The CBS YouGovernment poll that found 85% for his message to Congress was even more farcical, with 54% of respondents identifying as Democrats and only 18% identifying as Republicans. A fresh ABC poll this Sunday found that nearly two-thirds of Americans, 64%, are feeling optimistic about the direction of the country under Biden, the highest level of national optimism since 2006, but yet the poll's methodology is vague and doesn't even mention the partisan breakdown of its participants. Biden's opponents won't likely trust it regardless. Donald Trump's victory in 2016 flew in the face of almost every mainstream pollster, and Trump himself repeatedly accused the media of concocting fake polls to harm his presidency and hamper his chances of re-election. Now, again, looking at this, even if the latest poll is fair and balanced, the results aren't all sunshine and roses for Joe 30330. Throughout his campaign, the former vice president promised heal America of partisan division and unify the country around him. Even before he fleshed out his concrete politics, these buzzwords formed the bedrock of his campaign, promising a return to the supposed civility of the pre-Trump era. But I want to remind everyone, how do we get Trump? In the first place, it was during the Obama years, where everything was pragmatic and that Obama has a plan and that he's going to host a beer summit with the Republicans. Here, look, I'm sorry. Can we get the camera on me for 1 second? Especially to the diehard vote blue and Democratic establishment. Are you freaking retarded? I know that's a no-no word, but I don't care about these words and how they offend people. I mean, look, here's the thing, Democrats. You're being retarded. You're being stupid. You're being ignorant. And you're assuming that people are going to be riding your coattails for some time. But here's a sad fact. More and more people, progressives and independents, are realizing you're not following through with your promise to get the kids out of cages. We didn't get our $2,000 stimulus check. We're not getting our $15 minimum wage increase. And if you do, it's going to be by 2025? Even by that point, $15 an hour is still too little now. It's got to be $40 an hour. That's right. I'm going to raise it up just to scare the crap out of the liberal, pragmatic people, because apparently everyone's at brunch and not seeing the bigger problem. And 2022 will be the deciding factor of what's going to happen to the Democrats. And I'm very curious to see what kind of propaganda you and all of your friends in the Democratic Party are going to use to convince progressives and independents to vote for you. Because so far you've convinced me that nothing is changing. All what you did was put on the mask of neoliberalism that Trump took off. Daniel.
Yeah, so this is the thing, that those people were... I love how Joe Biden just like, oh, I just wanted people to come and cheer at me for doing maybe something at some point, maybe in the last 100 days. The time period where historically you're supposed to get the most done, and everything's just downhill from there. So Joe Biden is not getting a lot done. Like, it's fascinating. I still think that this metaphor that I saw somewhere else was perfect at describing what Americans are going through right now. We are all diabetics with low blood sugar looking for something sweet to get our sugar up, and all we've ever had for the last few years are lemons, and someone hands us a grapefruit named Joe Biden. That is what is happening right now. We're in the honeymoon phase. The entire thing that Joe Biden has to do, he doesn't have to be a good president that gets things done. He just has to not be Trump in the eyes of people, which is really easy to do when all of a sudden, if you're a CNN or MSN watcher, and we already know the consolidation of media, so this carries through all of that, all you have to do is go from every single day the news going, look how terrible Trump is, everything Trump does is bad, even if it's not bad, it's really bad, and if he does something really bad, we can't tell the difference because everything he does is bad, to them cheering on Biden and saying he's doing a great thing just about every day, and how he's he's the most progressive, everyone's so happy, all this stuff, it's all going his way. Joe Biden is basically, the most that Joe Biden has done, ironically, is what Trump started, which is much of his presidency so far. He's getting a huge amount of credit for the vaccine rollout, because a lot of people like that. We would point out that Trump was the one that set all that up so that Biden could take advantage of it. So the one thing that Biden's actually getting the most credit for in the news is something Trump started, which I think is quite ironic. And then you look at other stuff that Biden's done. Most of the stuff he's accomplished is just rolling back something Trump did. Oh, we're not in this climate agreement? We're in it again. Well, we're not in the Iran deal? Okay, we're still not, but we're blaming Iran until they capitulate. That is what it is. It's people are so... People have made their own self-fulfilling prophecy with Trump. This is why we didn't cover Trump when he was elected in office, except when something actually happened, because most of it was just talk by the news media because he was their cash cow. There's not a lot to talk about with Biden, so they just keep rehashing the same thing, saying, oh, he did that and he didn't pee on the ground. Look at how so presidential. This is only going to hold for so long. There's still enormous issues with America that we go over all the time. There's still huge issues with healthcare, UBI, joblessness, the amount of home prices, the stock market. I mean, every day we talk about these issues. Joe Biden has not touched any of them. In fact, the one thing that I think we can call out Biden the most on is he has expanded a hawkish foreign policy that Trump at least restrained to some degree, which is weird because he also escalated, with the attacking families and such. Yep. And still it's like, oh, that's for America. Oh, that's pretty good. Oh, that's pretty small, guys. So Joe Biden's completed 100 days, the time where you're supposed to do the most that you can do when you have the most support. And all Joe Biden has done is take momentum that Trump had already started. So I don't know what we're going to look like in another year, another half year, but I would almost guarantee Biden will not be at 50% for very long. The fact that this transformational person that everyone should love is already getting booed at his own 100-day inaugurations, and he's already not passing policies. He's already given away his power. He's not doing anything to change it. He's talking about passing a small infrastructure bill that's going to get whittled down anyway, and he prioritizes doing what Republicans want anyway. People are going to realize that he's just a grapefruit. Mm-hmm. That's all he is, and we've just been used to sucking on lemons. That sweetness is only a comparison. You can only compare Biden to Trump for so long before the analogy goes away. 100 days, it's still fresh, but won't be for long.